The last time I dated a white girl, I was hanging out with her one time in her car, and she looked really stressed out. So I asked her, and she didn't want to tell me. And finally, she decided to tell me, and she said this: I'm not racist, but I'm tired of the fact that black people are moving into my neighborhood. Now, she lived in a uppity white neighborhood, so she had to come to my side of town, to the ghetto, to hang out with me, right? When she said that, I said, well, what's wrong with it? And she says, look, Ricardo, you know that I have black friends, but my thing is, why don't you guys stick to your neighborhood and we'll live in ours? That doesn't mean we have to fight or not like each other, but it's like now you're bringing your noise over to our neighborhood and you're messing up our neighborhood. So I said this to her: so how would you feel if Mexican people were moving to your neighborhood? And she said, well, that's different. And I said, how so? And she said, because you guys are not loud. Now I'm thinking, well, shoot, we party all weekend with the I am predominantly Native American based on my DNA test result, but I do have some African. Then I said, well, I don't know if you know this, but I have a percentage of West African DNA. So how do you feel about knowing that you're dating somebody that has black? And she says, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I'm thinking, that's not what I'm asking. Like, what are you sorry about? I'm just asking, since you feel this way about black people, how do you feel that your man, who you were under the impression that's Mexican, well, how do you feel now that I'm part African? But Ricardo, I didn't know. I was like, that's not what I'm asking. How do you feel knowing that you've been kissing and making love to somebody who's part African? And she just couldn't. She just got red and started sweating. I'm so sorry, I didn't know. Started crying. And I said, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm trying to understand, because you feel this way, black people moving into your neighborhood. Well, you're kissing somebody that has some African. So how do you feel about it, since you feel this way about black people? She couldn't say anything. Prior to her complaining about black people moving into her neighborhood, she always complained that she had to come from her town to my town to hang out. And I said, well, I don't want to go over to your town because there's a lot of police over there. And she says, there's a lot of police over here too. And I said, yeah, but the police here, they are here to make sure we don't go over to your neighborhood. The police in your neighborhood, they protect you guys and make sure that we don't go over there. So she said, oh my God, Ricardo, you're one of those people. I said, okay, let's go to your side of town then. Let's do it. So we do. This is the first time I went to her city, her town, right? We walk into a Chipotle, and as soon as we walked in, my luck, there's 2 white cops inside, right? Everybody is white in there. Here comes a Mexican dude. As soon as they saw me with this white girl, they gave me the glare. Of course, what is this guy doing here? And also, what is this guy doing with a white girl? We were supposed to eat at the restaurant, but I told her, Chloe, just take this to go. I'm uncomfortable as hell right now. So she says, why? I was like, because those cops over there are not gonna stop looking at me. I convinced her to exit. So as we were exiting with our to-go boxes, I gave her the key to the car. And I said, you drive. And she says, why? I was like, trust me, you drive. So she didn't understand what that means. Now, mind you, as we were walking out, the 2 cops were walking out too and following us. That's why I even said, you drive. So I get in the passenger, she gets in the driver's seat, and as she's driving off out of the parking lot, the cops are coming behind her. No, you could say, they're just leaving too. Fine. As we're going, these cops are on our asses all the way till we exit that town and go over to the ghetto, to my side of town. Those cops did not leave our tail. And she noticed and she said, oh my God, they're following us. I said, welcome to my world, sweetheart.
Now, y'all know I've covered one of his videos in the past. I mean, I think like 2, where he talks a lot about race, which is very interesting. And I'll try to plug his TikTok on here as well. But these are things to start off with. What the young lady is saying is what a lot of people, black and white people, both feel that way. I know Charleston White's been very vocal about that, saying, yes, neighborhoods should be separated, things like that. The only time black and white folks or other folks should meet up is on the ball field or on the basketball court. Then you go on back to doing your thing. Now, you can call that segregation, but that's how some people feel. And that's pretty much how she felt. Now, she's saying loud music. I'm pretty sure there was more that she said to him that he's not saying, even though he is very vocal about a lot of these things, how people think. And it's unfortunate. Racism is real. Bigotry is a real thing. as much as people will say because they don't experience it. And case in point, his girlfriend was like, oh, you're one of those people, oh, nothing's gonna happen to you. Because people live in their bubble a lot of times in their lives, and they never go outside of that bubble. And when they do, if you're white, you can pretty much go anywhere in the world and not have an issue. You can go in black clubs, nobody's gonna be like, oh, look at that white person. No. You can go in black spaces, nothing's gonna happen to you. But it's not the same when black folks go into those spaces. Once upon a time, you could lose your life. And this wasn't that long ago, if you think about it. Police, he's right, he knows better. And you can say, well, comply. People are profiled. It's just one of those things. We all want to live in good neighborhoods. We all want to live in crime-free areas. And unfortunately, a lot of times that comes with wealth. The more money you have, the better places you can live in. And some people will always say, well, that's in a white neighborhood. You moved out of the hood, you moved out of... It's just one of those things where people would rather live in certain places. There are thriving black neighborhoods all over the place that don't tolerate loud music, parking your cars in the street, yelling, cursing, and things like that. And that's just how it should be. Things should be organized, free from trash, debris, and everything else. And it's not just always in a white neighborhood. It's just about your HOA and people holding other people accountable. Playing your loud music... He's right. Mexicans party hard, but not all black folks play loud music. I live in an HOA neighborhood, and I live on a small street. We probably got like 10 houses on my street, if that. And maybe 5 of those houses, including my house, is a black household. And I don't ever hear any music. I never hear any music really in my neighborhood as I roll through. Now, there are certain parts in my neighborhood where you have folks moving in, and there's a variation, and they're crowding the streets. It's not just black folks either. It's just people in general. Music is music, but it's really things. A lot of times people develop opinions based upon what they see on television, not direct interactions. And when they see, as she had this direct interaction, he basically held a mirror up to the part of town where she's from, which they never had to deal with. A lot of times, even though we say as far as the black on black crime, white on white crime, as far as police deleting black folks as opposed to police deleting white folks, you have the statistics out there when it comes to that. But we must not discount anyone's experience and say, oh, that's just such and such because I don't have to worry about police. A lot of times white people don't really have to concern themselves about police because, and this is where they get into white privilege and things like that. And you can say, well, that's not really a privilege. I think that's one less thing you have to worry about, is not being profiled or having someone make assumptions about you based upon your skin color. It's like, I don't want to say a free pass, but it's just, you're the majority in the country. So nobody's really going to look at you like that. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about this video. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next video that's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah. 50 Cent. 50. Part 2.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Can't forget Tony.
50.
UK.